Welcome to Lead with Hope, the podcast where we explore the power of hope, leadership, and resilience in today's world. I'm Brandi Kelly, and each week I'll bring you stories, insights, and actionable advice from leaders and change makers who are using hope as their compass to navigate challenges and inspire others to create positive impact. Whether you're a seasoned leader or just beginning your journey, this podcast is here to remind you that no matter the obstacles, hope is the fuel that can drive transformation. So let's dive in and discover how you can lead with hope. You will not want to miss this amazing episode with Tommy Campbell. Tommy is a 2025 CEO alum, and he shares stories from his CEO experience, his experiences in football, youth group, and his work life. This episode is packed with lessons on leadership, resilience, and showing up. This is one you're going to want to hear from start to finish. So let's get started. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your background and about T&D's Entertainment?
Yeah, thanks for having me today, Brandi. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be on here. I guess to start with a little bit about myself. My name's Tommy Campbell. Obviously, I graduated from Staunton High School in 2025, so I guess you could say last school year. I lived in Staunton my entire life. I'm still living at home, but I've grown up in a spot in the middle of nowhere where we kind of got to do everything ourselves. Like we got a well that we have to haul water and stuff for. So I've been accustomed to work my whole life. And I mean, there's not much more background. I've just always been willing to try new stuff and be willing to do stuff that makes me get out of my comfort zone. To kind of quote Scott Reichman from last year, one of my favorite quotes that he said was, "Don't be afraid to suck at something new." Well, I can say that I'm not afraid to suck at anything new.
I love that quote. Don't be afraid.
I do too.
To suck at something new. I'm writing that down, Tommy.
That was my senior quote last year.
That's great. Now, what is T&D's Entertainment? You mentioned that in our correspondence, and I'm just curious if you could share a little bit about that.
Yeah. But just a little bit about T&D. So T&D's was a child of the badge business program for CEO. So that was the first thing we did. And what we did for our way of doing badge business was we did a little advertisement plan. We did 3 plans. We had tier 1 was $25. We just do a collage post of everyone that's around. So like just shout out, thank you for everyone that supports the CEO program. Mm-hmm. Second one was $50, and that was just a little bio personal post. And then $100 was the real money maker, which was videos. And to kind of preface we got to the videos. Got done with the class business because the class business took a lot of our time up after we got done initially getting the money for the badge business. Mm-hmm. After the class business, we were all kind of stressed out and ready to just kind of unwind. So me and Dylan, our first video that we did, I guess you could say for like pre-op T&Ds and then doing it for CEO, we went to Bill's IGA in Staunton. We both kind of looked at each other like, hey, let's have some fun with this. Mm-hmm. So if you go look at the CEO Facebook page or anything, they got our videos on there and the rest of the CEO students, but you'll kind of see the beginnings of T&Ds there.
Okay. So what do you do with T&Ds?
Well, we advertise local businesses around Macoupin, and we're trying to kind of expand out right now.
Okay.
And then what really became T&Ds was we were sitting at Hawthorne one morning talking with Carrie and all of them, and Carrie and then Macy Wright and a few others suggested, hey, you guys really were good at doing those videos. You should really start the business. I kind of look at Dylan and go. So we went to his house, played darts, wrote up a business plan. A couple days later, we presented it. We got polos and whatnot, and then T&Ds was born.
That's amazing. I love that story, Tommy. It was born right there at Hawthorne's Coffee Shop in Carlinville. There's a plug right there for Hawthorne's to sponsor the Lead with Hope podcast.
I would completely agree with that, Brandi.
So, Tommy, what's something special about you or something that brings you joy? You know, coffee brings me joy, that's for sure. What brings you joy?
Well, I have to say the biggest thing, which could be stereotypical, but being able to go out and spread Jesus' word. Being a Christian is a big part of who I am, and I am not afraid to admit that. You can quote me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, Jesus is a humongous part of my life. For one, he was there when I first started. He's kind of just been the back. Well, for me, it's been the background, but now that I've gotten older and realized how much of an impact he has, it's become my passion and my love to be able to go out and lead and proclaim Christ's name. I'm not afraid. I try to do it in every little way. I'm not afraid to criticisms about it. So that's what I find my most joy is being able to praise his name and being able to help people is the biggest thing for me.
That's beautiful, Tommy. And that gives me a lot of encouragement. You're a young man just starting out in the world, just a recent graduate from high school, and you're shining Jesus' love into the world very brightly. So that gives me a lot of hope and encouragement. What experiences or lessons have had the biggest impact on your life or your leadership?
That's a really good question. I got a few good ones. We'll start
Okay.
with when it comes to my faith that had the biggest impact for me starting down the path.
Mm-hmm.
In 2022, well, kind of more like in 2021, my church, I go to Zion Staunton in Zion Lutheran Staunton in Staunton.
Yeah.
We haven't had a youth group there for a long time, but a gal by the name of Christy Cook, which huge shout out to Christy because without her guidance and whatnot, would not be who I am today. She helped me really kind of break down and hone my faith and be able to use it as a positive light.
Yeah. It's
But
the people in your life, the people in your life, that's what makes all the difference. And it's so encouraging whenever you can connect with somebody in a youth group and they can have that big influence on you. Right now, I'm reading a book, Tommy. It's called Lead Like Jesus. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Talks about our heart, our head, our hands, and our habits, and how we can put the mission to love God, love people, serve all into action and use Jesus as the role model for our life and our leadership. And it sounds like that's what Christy did in your life too.
yeah, not just Christy, but I would not be who I am without my mom and dad pushing me and always. Yeah, with mom and dad, I would not be real. For one, I wouldn't be around without them, but I wouldn't be able to have the mindset that I do without their guidance and them wanting to push me instead of just kind of shelter me. They are always like, go try it, go see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah. And God knows. It's such a perfect plan. He knows the parents that we need, and he gives us the perfect parents that we need. And I will tell you, Tommy, my father passed away in September, and he had fought a long, courageous battle with Parkinson's. But knowing that he's in heaven now with my mother, it gives me so much peace. And just reflecting back on his life and his legacy, I'm just so grateful that God gave me the parents that he gave me. And I'm sure your parents are button busting proud of their son.
They are, and I don't really like bragging about myself with that kind of stuff because ultimately it's not my doing, it's God's doing. I'm just a vessel. That's the way I look at it. That's why I try not to be Mr. Barrel Chest and showing off everything.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry for your loss as well.
Well, thank you, Tommy. Thank
No
you. But
problem.
like I said, there's hope there. There's hope
Yes,
because
there
he's
is.
in heaven, and I will see him again one day. When you were working in the CEO program, you guys did a badge business, you did a lot of business visits, things like that. What stands out to you about your experiences in the CEO program?
That's a really good question. And I hope this is a good answer. But for me, the biggest thing that I took from CEO was when we got the mentors. I had Ken Doyle, which another humongous shout out to Ken. He really helped me understand how to be business minded, how to think how to use your money. And the biggest thing is he helped me realize how big connections are. That's the biggest thing I pull from CEO is having connections and networking is key in life, period.
Yeah. 100% agree with you there, Tommy. Now, we all have defining moments in our life too, and you've talked about some really big ones. You've talked a lot about faith in your youth group, your mom and your dad, your mentors, but adversity strikes us all. We all deal with hard spots. And if you haven't yet, hold on because it's coming. It's not if, it's when.
Oh
So,
yeah.
are there any challenges that you have maybe overcome and you can give the listeners some tips or some strategies regarding how you overcame that challenge?
I do have one, and it's one that, I mean, if I was going to kind of either talk about it later or talk about it after I talk about the youth gathering, but we'll get to that anyway. In 2020, I mean, it was a bad year for everyone, but for us, that was when my mother was diagnosed for cervical cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And along with that, while she was like, go, like she's cancer free now, got it cut out, she's all good.
Awesome.
But that same year, my father also shattered his leg, and both my parents were down. I was the only one able to operate this entire little, I'll call it little homestead, or what it's a. We live in the country. We have, like I said, we got water, we got a hall, we got a furnace that I have to cut wood for, which is why I also started a firewood business that I have to cut wood for to have heat for everything. And we got a bunch, like how many? 7 animals or so that we have to take care of. So when that happened, I was left this humongous platter of stuff I had to do. And the biggest moment that kind of helped me go to who I am was one day I was out cutting wood, and there's a log that was frozen to the ground because it like freshly iced over. So it was a big old sheath. It was not working, and I just lost it right then and there. And right then, that's when I really felt God was like, hey, you'll get through this. And well, he did. Instead of like being woe is me, I looked, okay, how can I better myself? That's where what I really learned from that was, and that's the lens I look at any challenge, like any one that I go through now, is how can I be better from this? God's here with me, but how can I grow stronger and better from this instead of laying down and accepting defeat? Because that's not how I operate.
And that's a beautiful reframe, Tommy, because how old were you when that all happened in 2020?
I was 13, going on 14.
Yeah, you were young and you were handling a man's load of responsibility at that young age. And to be able to reframe those challenges into opportunities to grow, there's a lot of adults in their 30s, 40s, 50s, man, even probably 60s, that they can't reframe it like that. They can't see the potential in that growth. And I see that adversity led you to be the young man that you are today with how many businesses?
2 currently.
2 businesses. That's awesome, Tommy. That is awesome. So are there any passion projects or anything that you are working on that you want to talk about?
There is right now, like I'm actually, after this, I got to go get a load ready. Big T's firewood. I started it back in 2023, 2 years ago now. And it was a good friend of ours that we've known for years. He helped me cut, because that's when I turned 16, got my license, started selling firewood because I know how to do it. It's pretty fun to do.
Yeah.
Last year, I was kind of like dwindling because I was like, oh, I have football going on. I got all this going on. And I was like, yeah. But now that I'm kind of free to do whatever I want, I'm trying to get another truck, maybe start not blowing money, but getting more stuff ready to go, like being a little more streamlined, and maybe get to a point where this side hobby makes me quite a bit of money.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then another one is, so I mentioned youth group. So I did it for 3 years. I'll just kind of preface, like, what really started me on my journey is I went to Houston, Texas in 2022, and it's called the National Youth Gathering. It's a week-long convention with like 20,000 other kids and adults about my age or older that all gathered there that praise Jesus. Like when we were there, we were at the Astro Stadium. We got the whole stadium filled up. And that's what, like, if you ever heard the term mountaintop experience, that's what it was for me. Really helped me go to the trajectory I am today, because it's like, oh, he's here. Let's do something about it. Let's not sit down.
Right.
And helped me drive to become a big leader in youth group, and trying my best to which that has led me today, where our youth director, Christy, stepped down. She got a new opportunity in Collinsville, which grateful that she got the new opportunity to go spread her light somewhere else. I have I'm in the process of taking up the mantle of the new youth leader right now. And that's a
Well,
passion project.
congratulations. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's awesome.
And then I think two more and we'll move on is, so I went to a thing called Youth Lead for the last 3 years. It's like it's a leadership program that is a weekend long program where you get into small groups, talk about how you can be a leader in Christ, and just so much more. I'm just scratching the surface of it because I don't want to get too much detail, but it's great. You make a lot of connections, a lot of networking. I've met a lot of people that I'm still in quite contact with from around the country from there.
That's awesome. And I love that you started growing yourself in the CEO program, but you haven't stopped there. You graduated and now you are seeking out other ways to grow, not just as a leader, but as a human being in your faith. And Tommy, throughout this entire interview, I have heard you say that your values are, at least in part, faith, family, and that work ethic. And it shows. And when you lead in your values, I believe you can accomplish anything you set your mind to with God's help.
I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
But last year, so the way Youth League works is every 3 years, this big gathering occurs. Like this year, we went down to New Orleans. Great trip, great food. I recommend going. Maybe don't go to Bourbon Street if you're too young. It's a wee bit crazy, but went down there. It was kind of like a send off with all the old people, like not old, but like the people that I went to youth group with, kind of just graduating. It was kind of a little send off and the passing of the torch for me because I'm trying to take up youth group.
Yeah.
But I got elected to youth league because there's a team every year that has a 3-year term, and I got elected to it. I'm representing the central region of the United States right now, and starting to prepare for in March is when youth league starts.
Okay. Very cool.
Something
Cool.
I'm very passionate about. And then another thing is I'm very passionate about, I'll go into football a little bit so you understand why I'm coaching now.
Okay.
I started playing football for Staunton in 3rd grade, and I ended last year. So I played for about 10 years, and I wouldn't change a thing of it because football really taught me, okay, how to pick yourself up, dust yourself on, and get back to it. And then something I tell my 5th graders, like told my 5th graders and going to be 6th graders, I tell them, next play, move on. Don't worry about what happened last time. Move on.
Yeah, let it go.
And then, especially in high school, I have nothing. I'm going to plug another mentor, Coach Austin Scherfy. Without him, I would not be so headstrong and be willing to step up and lead because he gave me that opportunity. He helped me realize that I can be myself and it'll work. I was elected team captain for 2 years in a row, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And without Scherfy's help, I would not be who I am today. I really wouldn't. Without football, without Scherfy, without Jesus, without Christy, without my parents, I would not be who I am today. So huge shout out to all of them. I'm extremely thankful for what they've done for me.
And in the Bible, in Jeremiah 29:11, it's one of my favorite verses. It says that he has a plan for our life, a plan to prosper us, not to harm us, to give us hope and a future. And your life shows that, Tommy. It really does. So I'm wondering, what's giving you hope in our world right now?
Little things, honestly, Brandi. Just seeing right now that my little cousin, who I asked if she wanted to come to youth group, her starting to love it. Just seeing one kid, seeing one person that I'm affecting with how I'm doing things gives me hope. And then one of my favorite. It's a basic verse, but it's a basic verse for a reason. Philippians 4:13. Mm-hmm. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's one of my favorite verses of all time. Because for me, it really summarizes, what God does.
Mm-hmm. Tommy, this conversation I knew it was going to be good, but it is an unexpected blessing to me today because I had no idea of your faith. I didn't know about this part of you. I knew that when you were in the CEO program, you had a really fun story that I'm hoping that you will end on today and share with the listeners, because you have a lot of charisma, you have a lot of personality, and you bring humor into the situation, which I think we need more of right now in our world. So
I'd agree.
can you think of your most funny story from the CEO program, and we'll end on that story?
Oh, all right. Then I'll talk about class business, which
Okay.
goes back into how T&D started, why me and Dylan are so goofy when our videos. But so, the day of, like, we tried having it. So what it was is like we tried having a 5K and a fall festival in the same day. Weather was not on our side. We only had like 6 runners, and things were not looking too good. And we had about 180 dozen Krispy Kreme donuts to do.
Yeah.
So and we were gonna do like a hot dogging competition, which is why I had a hot dog costume, and then we were like advertising the pet park because it was like a pet festival. So I got a hold of our school's bulldog mascot costume so we could advertise that. No one was showing up, and then me and Dylan were like kind of looking at each other because him and I are both like, okay, let's do something right now instead of like kind of wait and be logical. We like to attack, not really defend or anything like that. So we walk out there. Well, first he's like, Tommy, put on the hot dog costume. Give me the bulldog costume. Like, okay, what are we going to do? Head out there. We start dancing like strippers the whole time. We sold 180 dozen donuts within like an hour or two from us just being so stupid.
That's great. That is great. And I will tell you, I had Macy on the show. She shares a little bit about this story whenever I talk to her as well. So it is one for the history books for sure. So thanks for sharing.
That's what they claim.
Yeah. So as listeners are listening to us talk and you share your story, share about the CEO program, if somebody wants to get into touch with you, would you be open to that? And if so, how can they connect with you?
I would be more than willing to help. Like, if someone wants to talk to me, please do. And I'll just give just phone numbers. Normally how I do it, just text or call me. Normally text. But if you call me, we'll see if I answer.
Okay.
I normally do because it's normally customers that call me. But my number is 217-556-9181.
Okay, Tommy. And I'll add Tommy's number in the show notes. If you want to get in touch with Tommy to talk about CEO program, T's Firewood, or T&D's Entertainment, call Tommy. You won't regret it. Tommy, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, Brandi.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Lead with Hope, where we believe that leadership rooted in habits, optimistic mindset, purpose, and excellence can truly change the world. I'd love to ask you for a small favor that makes a big impact. Help me spread hope. Share this episode with a friend or a colleague who could use a little encouragement today. And if this conversation inspired you, please take a moment to head over and give the show a 5-star rating. It helps others find us and keeps the message of hope growing strong. I'm also excited to share something new with you, the Hope Fueled Kickstart. This is a powerful, short-term, one-on-one coaching experience designed to help leaders like you reclaim your vision, reset your mindset, and reignite your purpose so you can lead with hope again. To learn more about the Kickstart program, just click the link in the show notes. Until next time, remember, the world needs your leadership and change starts with you. Fuel your life with hope, embrace your purpose, and shine your light for others.